Hello everyone, thanks for joining again. Here is the video key for Activity 2 for Tuesday, March 31st. So again, we are going over combining like terms for expression A. So I'm going to start by boxing in my terms. So again, I need to be able to know if I'm dealing with a positive or a negative term because that determines the steps I take to combine. All right, so my first term is 3.5x, and what I'm going to do is combine that with, and I see that I made an error in writing this out, so let me adjust this really quick, because on your document, you will notice that it says 2.25x, and I didn't have that. So there we go. So now, I've got 3.5x, and I'm going to combine that with my 2.25x, and they are both positives, so I'm just going to combine them by adding them together. 3.5 plus 2.25, and the sum here is 5.75x, because my variable follows. And the next thing that I have is a negative 4.8 and positive 7.5. So negative 4.8 plus 7.5. Now for that, because I have two terms that have different signs, one is positive, one is negative, I am going to subtract and then use the sign for the number that has the greater absolute value, which would be the 7.5. So I'm just going to take 7.5 minus 4.8. Need to borrow from my 7, make that a 6. 15 minus 8 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2, bring down my decimal point, and then again, using the sign for the number that has the greater absolute value, that makes it a positive 2.7. So my new expression here is 5.75x plus 2.7. That is your simplified expression for A. Now moving on to B, we've got negative 1/2 x plus 8 minus 3/4 x minus 13. Same process. I'm going to box in my terms. And now what I can combine with my negative 1/2 x is a negative 3/4 x. And I know that 3/4 that has the denominator of 4, and I know that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. So if that helps, just use 2/4 instead of 1/2. Oops, excuse me. Negative 2/4 plus negative 3/4, and that is a negative 5/4 x. And you could further simplify that to 1 1/4 if you'd like. I'm going to leave it as a negative 5/4 x. Now I'm going to combine my positive 8 and my negative 13. So I've got 8 plus negative 13. And I see that there are more negatives here, so that tells me my sum is negative, and then I'm just going to find the difference of the positive, or of the absolute value of both of these numbers. So just taking positive 8 and positive 13, and what is the difference? And the difference here is 5, and there are more negatives, so negative 5 is your sum. And then combining these, I've got negative 5/4 x minus 5. Or I could have negative 5/4 x plus negative 5. Both of those simplified expressions would be acceptable. Thanks for watching.